And joining us for more on tonight's topic is Zach Anderson. He is the politics reporter for the Herald Tribune, and joining us by Skype from the University of South Florida is Kristen Trung, Senate President for USF Student Government. And thank you both for joining us. And Zach, let me start with you and ask, it is a tough question, does he have any chance of winning this, given the fact that there are many Republicans who are concerned about the down ballot effect of a Trump or Cruz nomination? The demographics of the area are changing. Does he have a shot?
Yeah, I think you have to say that anybody's got a shot. You know, this is a really volatile election year. You mentioned Trump. There are a lot of Republicans that are worried about the down ballot effect of a Trump candidacy. He's hard to predict, and there's some people that think that he would really drag down a lot of people on the ticket if he's nominated. So, you know, this guy's young. He doesn't have much experience. He doesn't look like he's going to have a whole lot of money, at least to start out with. But, you know, youth is not a disqualifier. There's young people that have been elected before. Adam Putnam, who's the agriculture secretary here in Florida and who's considered a prime candidate for governor, was elected to the state house when he was very young. So, you know, I think anybody's got a shot.
In fact, his early 20s, and then he went to Congress also while he was in his 20s.
Yeah, he did. So, you know, youth is not a disqualifier, but it is a really big uphill climb for this candidate. Not only is this district lean Republican, it's pretty strongly Republican. It's not overwhelmingly Republican, but it is a traditionally Republican district. Sarasota County and southern Charlotte County. Charlotte County kind of makes it more conservative, and southern Sarasota County is conservative. And then you also have the fact that he's running against some experienced candidates, but, you know, that there's five Republicans, actually, four with a lot of experience. You know, they could beat themselves up, and, you know, the Democrat, that could help the Democrat.
And Kristen, let me ask you this, because especially during this election year, and we see it with all the energy behind the Bernie Sanders campaign, that a lot of young people are energized in this election, but traditionally, young people don't come out to vote. Do you feel that that is any different this year?
You know, I really do think that it's different this year just because there is a lot more push for younger people and for people our age to be getting involved, whether it's voting or running for office, just as Frank is doing.
And do you tell us a little bit about Frank? You know him. You serve with him on the state senate, the senate at USF. What are the qualities that you think that would make him a good state senator?
So I actually remember meeting Frank in my American Foreign Policy class. And then next thing I know, I was looking at the Tallahassee internship program through USF, and his picture was there. And then next thing I know, I'm serving with him in the Student Senate at USF. And I'd say if anyone thinks that age is a concern, he's definitely one person who hasn't made age a concern. He always tries and works as hard as he can. He's determined, and when he puts his mind to something, he's going to give it 110% and even more if he's able to.
Well, let me ask you this, because you know, the Student Senate at USF, just like any college campus, they're made up of both Democrats and Republicans. We live in such a polarized environment in Congress and the state legislature. Is it any different in the USF's Student Senate?
So we don't have a party system here at USF, but I would definitely say that people have their opinions, and people will vote in what they truly believe is best for USF. And I will say, though, that for one, Frank and I, we might be on different sides of the political spectrum, but it's always comforting to know that despite all of that, he'll always be willing to listen, and we can have really constructive and good discussions and debates.
Hey, Zach, let me ask you this. Why do we only have one Democrat running for this seat? Why haven't the Democrats been able to recruit other candidates and make it a competitive primary and therefore try to make it a competitive race in the fall?
Well, I think part of it is really the demographics of the seat. It is a Republican-leaning seat. I don't know the exact numbers, but it is a seat that I'm pretty sure went for Romney in 2012 and probably in 2008. When you look at that, you know, the Democrats have to figure out where they're going to invest their money. They're also facing 4 experienced Republican candidates, and depending on who comes out of that, you could have a pretty strong Republican in the race. So do you want to invest your money in that, or do you want to invest it in some other races that you think you have a better shot in? That being said, there are some rumors that, who knows, maybe somebody else could join the race. You know, there's you know, it's still time before qualifying, so you don't know.
Well, let me ask you this. Most candidates, when they jump into a race, and especially a young person, are they aware of what it takes in terms of fundraising? You don't automatically get fundraising help from the state party.
I'm not sure that they do. I mean, this guy seems pretty smart. He seems savvy. He was an intern in the Senate. You know, I wouldn't call him naive, but at the same time, until you're really in it, until you've experienced it, I don't think you realize how hard it is to fundraise, how hard it is to ask people for money. The party is not going to help this guy because he hasn't proven anything. Maybe if he raised a bunch of money on his own, they might come in. But even then, the demographics of the seat still lean against him. So I don't think he's going to get party support. And so he's really on his own here. And that's a really tough road.
But Kristen, we have seen examples. I remember the congressman who was the House majority leader lost his bid for re-election, Eric Cantor, by a grassroots campaign from a guy who people never thought had the chance. Would college students, not only at USF in Tampa, but down here in Sarasota and Manatee, basically get going and help him out and try to organize a grassroots campaign for him?
You know, I do think that the USF community that we have is really strong. We really do support any student that we're able to. I think that Frank will definitely be using his connections that he's built with the USF Sarasota Manatee campus and with all the individuals that he knows down there to make a really great grassroots campaign that's going to show people his determination for anything he sets his mind to.
And Zach, you know, finally, do you see, especially as the primary season comes to a close, and with everything that we're talking about in terms of Trump and Cruz and where the Republican Party is, that do you really think that it could have down ballot, you know, ramifications?
I certainly think it could. You know, this is a year that Republicans really should do quite well. They're coming off 8 years of Obama. The momentum is always with the party that's not in power. That's where all the energy and the enthusiasm really is. And I think there's energy and enthusiasm for both Trump and Cruz amongst the grassroots. But whether those are candidates that can really appeal to a broad spectrum, which is what you need to win the country. This is not, you know, you got to win beyond Republicans. So I think they are more polarizing candidates than some of the others that came before them.
And we'll have to leave it there. I want to thank you both for joining us tonight.